Hello everyone, I'm Jim from Jim Shadecoding. I hope you are doing well, and I also hope you had a great time with the last exercise. We are going to learn some exciting topics in the following episodes. And as you remember, we talked about in Python, we have two kinds of loops, and we learned about the first one, which is for, but we did not learn about the second. So today we are going to learn about the while loop. And basically, the while loop is kind of the combination between for loops and if statements. And why is that? The reason is what while does, it accepts some condition you type near the while keyword, for example 6 greater than 5, and then the code inside the while statement is going to run continuously and without stopping until the condition is changing. So for example, what will happen with the code you see in front of you is that this print hello is going to run forever, and it does not matter which code you insert after the while loop. The Python is never going to get out of this loop, since this condition, which is 6 greater than 5, is always true. And for sure I will show an example for what I said right now. But in this particular example, I also want to say that you want to avoid this kind of code, because this is not the best for your computer to run a program without stopping, and this is also not pretty much healthy for your CPU. But let me show you an example of how while loops could be really effective sometimes when you want to run something until the condition changes during the program. So let's put one more example of few lines of code and discuss about it. Alright, so we have here a variable called x, and its value is equal to 0. Now, as you remember, in Python variable's value, you are allowed to override this particular variable by another value, and we are going to use this fact when we use while loops. So what I do right now is using Python's built-in keyword, which is called while, and right after that we can see an expression that is going to return true or false. And because x is equal to 0 right now and 0 is not greater than 5, then the code inside the while loop is going to be executed. But check out what I do in the line after the print hello x. What I'm doing is overriding the x value and increase it by 1. So in the next execution, what Python is going to think, it is going to look for the condition after the while keyword, and then it will say, okay, 1 is still not greater than 5, which is okay by me, and I will execute this again. And this will actually continue on until we reach 5. Because once we reach 5, Python is going to check again the condition, and now it is going to think, okay, x is equal to 5 and 5 is not greater than 5, so it's going to say, okay, I'm out of this loop, I can't enter it anymore because this condition is not true anymore. So actually code like this will be responsible to output hello 5 times, as you see there, and obviously I won't have hello 5 because it did not enter the while loop in that case. So this is how while loops are working. What you can do to improve this code is very important to remember. You can take that x equals to x plus 1 and actually to turn it to something like this, and this will be the exact same code as you saw a minute ago. Because what this does, it says, okay, take the value of x and increase it by 1. Now let's jump to the PyCharm and see some more examples. So let's give a nice example of while loops there, and this time what I want to do is starting off with y equals to 10, and what I will do in my while loop is actually decrease the value of y by 1 until we reach 0. So how we can write such a condition? We can go with while, right? And then right after that, what I can do is simplifying something like y is greater than 0. And then what I can do is taking my action right there, and I can go with something like this is a decreasing while loop. And then to display what y is equal to, I want to go with a formatted string and specify the y right there. And also let's put a dash here to make it more clean. And now, after I finished all the actions that I want to take in my while loop, we must do some operation to the variable's value we actually working with, as you saw in the presentation. So this time what I want to do is making something like y is equal to y minus 1, but I can switch this and make this more efficient by just writing y minus equals to 1. And if I execute this, the result actually is going to be just as I wanted. And it's also nice to see this process in debugging mode. So we remember how to debug, and you can press here and then a red dot will appear. Right after that, right click the file and start debugging. So now we have control for each line of the code, and you know how we can execute one line at a time. Just press F8 if you use PyCharm. And now if I press F8, you see how it jumped to the third line, and now it will jump to the fifth line. And pay attention to that y variable now, because now it is equal to 10, and once I run that, you see how this is no more equal to 10 and it actually decreased by 1. So as you see, this is how you can use while loops. Also remember that if you put some more code in the 6th or in the 7th line, for example, this will only be executed once the while loop finishes. So it is important to remember that. Alright everyone, don't forget to crack the subscribe button and also like this video. I will see you in the next one, where we will learn some important tip about the while loops.